Totally devastated, a new shocking revelation reveals William's truly devastating feelings for Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview. If a person ever wanted to let out a good old cry, or maybe do some sulking, or do a little bit of shouting, then it would be especially convenient to be a member of the royal family. The options are almost endless for this type of catharsis. There are Buckingham Palace's 775 rooms, the 120 Grace and Favour Royal Palace apartments scattered all across central London and Windsor, and even the 50,000 acres and all the properties strewn all over the Balmoral estate. We may not know exactly where, but it was at one of these properties that a very bizarre and tragic scene played out back in early 2021. It was sometime in late February or maybe early March of 2021. The pandemic was still raging along, and Queen Elizabeth was trapped inside h&ms bubble. Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, ran off to be newbie Californians. Prince Philip had been admitted to the hospital, and things were not looking good. Thanks to CBS announcing that Meghan and Harry were going to be interviewed by the TV confessor Oprah Winfrey, storm clouds began to gather. There would be a lot of feelings, there would be a lot of truth dispensed in talk show soft lighting. And at that time, all the alarm bells should have been going off behind palace doors. And it was sometime around this point that back in the UK, Prince William reportedly did something that has never been reported on before. He did a little bit of a bolt. And now, the Mail on Sunday's editor-at-large, Charlotte Griffiths, has revealed the torment that the future king went through in the lead-up to Meghan and Harry's Oprah Winfrey airing. And folks, I hope that you are not eating while you're listening to this, because what I'm about to say may make you feel sick. Now, according to Miss Charlotte, William was hiding away at an unspecified royal residence before the interview was released, and after he watched it and heard it, he was left physically unwell. Miss Charlotte made the comments while she appeared on the frequent Sussex critic Dan Wootton show on the GB News TV channel in the UK, and she said, "What I find quite surprising, and I've heard this for a long time now from many different sources, is that in the lead up to that Oprah interview, William was quite literally sick with worry. He was not eating, and he became not reclusive, but he definitely was hiding away. He went to a royal residence for a period of time to cut himself off from the world. He was just in bits, basically." And boy, what an image that is. I mean, William, the usually strong Prince of Wales, a bundle of nerves, tucked away somewhere all by himself, suffering in the tense, ominous period before that Oprah special came out. This is not the William we have come to know. This is not the William we have come to love. Thanks to that Oprah interview, thanks to Harry and Meghan's 6 hours of Netflix docuseries, and thanks to Spare, a book that felt like it was only a little bit shorter than War and Peace, the image of Willie is not a man who's overcome with feelings. The William we're used to through Harry is the big brother who is sometimes jealous and sometimes browbeating, who encourages Harry into one of his biggest scrapes, the Nazi uniform, and then just leaves him to deal with the fallout. Somebody who doesn't seem especially welcoming towards Meghan, and who later on hits his brother in some type of altercation over Meghan's alleged treatment of their shared staff. The image of William today is not one of a man who's in bits all by himself in some secluded royal property, while some employee is standing nervously outside the door ready to give him some tissues and maybe even give him a hug. Sympathy for William so far has been a commodity in very short supply, but the version of events presented by Charlotte poses a real challenge to that. I mean, just think about it. Steely, stoic, and occasionally thuggish William can't even eat, and he's in bits over Harry's choice to air all the family's dirty laundry to the TV watchers. The bigger picture here is what has been mostly overlooked in the almost 2 years and change since Oprah, is that William also has feelings, and these feelings are never really considered when it comes to Megxit post-mortem mode. No matter what your opinion is of Harry as a victim, what we have never really talked about is that William also lost a brother in this whole mess. There are only a couple of people in this world who really understand what it was like growing up with parents whose marriage was broken before both of them could walk. Parents whose anger and pain and infidelities were played out in front of the entire world year after year. Indeed, William and Harry are the only two people who really know what it's like to be little kids strapped into the back seat as they were chased by the paparazzi through the streets of London, who know what it's like to have to wear a little suit as a primary school child and to have to go out there and shake hands with hundreds of strangers, and who can really appreciate the pressure and the scrutiny and the personal cost of all this. They were the only two people who, as boys, had to endure the unthinkable pain of following their mother's coffin through the streets of London while a billion people were watching on TV. And now those men cannot even count on each other. I mean, if that's not some kind of tragedy, then I don't know what is. And there was even more revealed. What was William's better half, also known as Catherine, the lovely Princess of Wales, doing while he was curled up in the fetal position wondering if the former nanny may be up for a little bit of hair stroking and lullaby singing? Well, apparently Catherine was standing by her man. According to Miss Charlotte, what Kate was doing was standing by her man. Kate was like, I've got to stick up for this guy and protect him. He's being destroyed by this. Now, earlier this month, the Times' Valentine Lowe revealed in the updated edition of his book Courtiers that it was Catherine who played such an important role in the palace's pushback against Meghan and Harry after Oprah aired. Just a little bit less than 2 days after the Oprah interview was aired, the palace released their now infamous Recollections May Vary statement. An insider spoke with Lowe saying it was Kate who clearly made the point. History will judge this statement, and unless this phrase or a phrase like it is included, everything that they have said will be taken as true. So Griffiths told Wooten that seeing her husband so badly affected probably made her quite steely, even though she has this reputation for being shy. But when it comes to protecting her husband, she's going to step in and protect him. In the years since then, according to a few different reports, it seems like William has moved on from feeling sad to feeling absolutely infuriated. In January, right after Spare hit shelves, a friend of the prince told the Times that William was anxious, sad, and burning inside. And then in April, a good friend of William's told the Daily Beast that he will never trust Harry again. How could he? The truth is, William absolutely hates Harry now and will never forgive him for the damage he has done to the family. A little over a month after the Prince of Wales was in bits, Philip went off to his reward and Harry came back to the UK for the funeral. And then after that, William and Harry met with their father, King Charles, for what was their last reported meeting. Well, it didn't go well. Their father at one point begged the boys, "Please, boys, don't make my final years a misery." And that makes me wonder, how did William really react to Meghan and Harry's Netflix docuseries? How did he react to Spare? Was he more saddened or was he just angry? The truth is, we may never know. But it doesn't really matter what the prince was busy doing these last 7 or so months. The good news is that he has certainly gotten his appetite back.